Going for a drive around the lake. Trying not to fall asleep.
Dedicated to the memory of the early Chinese settlers who in the 1850s, at a time of famine and social unrest, left their homeland for a strange new country. They came as sojourners, nearly 90% of them from south of China. They were hoping to find enough gold to return home with their fortune and look after their families. Chinese lived in camps under a protectorate, with one of their own people being spokesman and leader. They had their own rules and punishments because of their appearance and customs. They were looked on with fear and encountered widespread racism. Smallpox and leprosy were widespread. Many died here, and only a few had enough money to have their bones returned to their village for burial. According to records, between 1862 and 1892, the total number of Chinese to die in mining accidents in Victoria was 118. Of these, 57 were from Ballarat and district. Some decided to stay and become citizens, making invaluable contributions to society. Some were market gardeners and herbalists, but others excellent in commerce. Loy Moi, who was a builder, became a merchant and then a director of the commercial bank. John Edge was a seaman and helped develop the Murray River trade. Born in Canton in 1835, Dr. Lo Kwoi Sang migrated to Victoria in 1871 from the port of Hong Kong. A widower with 2 children, he remarried in 1884 and had 4 children by Caroline Fun. It is reported he would often walk to and from hospital to treat his patients. He died in 1896 at the age of 61. Most marriages that occurred were with Irish women. There you go, didn't know that one. One of Ballarat's colourful characters, Billy Butterfly, William R. Tong, was the son of such a marriage. His mother was Bridget Efi, whose parents came to Australia from Limerick, Ireland, as assisted migrants in 1852. So a little bit of history. Just having a little bit of a walk at the Chinese section of the new cemetery, and it's quite a decent size cemetery. Now these headstones are not headstones, they're actually footstones. Because what you find is that people who are buried, these stones are at the foot of where they're buried. In some cases they went a little bit westernized, like this one and this one, but in most cases they are footstones. I'm guessing that with the ones that are looking like the normal graves, like the western graves, it's more or less a case of they've become westernized and decided to live in a western culture, whereas a lot of them, they are still in the eastern culture of the footstone thing. It's a lovely little area, it's got a nice little vibe.
A lot of the ones that have the English translation of the person's name. It's got
Oh, okay.
it's got the Chinese,
Yep.
but then it's got
Some of the western ones, as you can see,
So there's 2 people
got
in here.
the 2 translations. One's a Chinese translation
What's
and
the
one
English?
is the
English.
English translation.
And there's 2 people in here and they both died on the same day.
There you go.
So I'm assuming they're a husband and wife, really?
Have a bit of a look around here. This is a little dedication to the Chinese altar, right in the middle of the cemetery here. This is in Ballarat Cemetery, the new cemetery, very well maintained, lovely garden areas, a little bit of a pond down the bottom, a little bit of a walkway. I'll go down and have a look. The amount of Chinese miners in Ballarat region were phenomenal, and you know, they're probably one of the hardest workers that I've ever come across. I've worked with a couple many years ago while I was picking grapes, and I tell you what, they're gung-ho pickers. They just keep going. It's a lovely little area. Just at the bottom of the Chinese cemetery is a nice little creek that sort of runs through. This little bridge running into a little bit of pondage. Very nice. Got me little letterbox going, so if there's any Chinese that are around and want to speak Chinese to us, or an Australian, English, most welcome to do so. Anyone here would like to say hello? Even in your language, you're most appreciated. You come with a lot of respect. So we love this little area that we've got here. Beautiful area. Okay, you want to say hello? Today's a lovely day and there's a lot of walkers out. A lot of people walking their dogs and riding their bikes through this cemetery. The cemetery is huge. Lots of different areas. What do you think of this cemetery? Lots of people coming, so I'll just turn it off for a little bit. Thank you for talking to us. All over this cemetery there's little plaques like this that tell you what little things represent. And this is a moon gate. It represents positive glimpse of garden supported by strength from Chinese burner. And this is the moon gate. How awesome is that? Pretty cool, huh?
Try not to fall asleep.